When I got out of the military, I had a hard time translating my military experience into the civilian world. I'll be honest with you, if it wasn't for my wife, I probably would have been that homeless or impoverished vet. But it can be easier with the right support. I'm Mark Casper, and I'm the Executive Director of Tech4Troops. In today's world, you have to have a computer to be able to apply for jobs. Our mission is to empower veterans in need with computers and training to get back in the workforce.
Here at Tech4Troops, we're here to push you forward to get you back to where you want to be in life. When the veterans come in, I teach them everything you could think of that's done with a computer. I want them to feel that this is a tool that's going to help them get their life back.
I went into a kind of a deep depression. Eventually, I lost my job and I was out on the street. The computer was able to connect me to the web, and I was able to start putting resumes out. And you have to have these small building blocks to get from point A to point B. I'm not worried about employment anymore.
The need is great, and we want to be able to support our veterans across the nation.
Welcome, everybody, to the Tech4Troops Nashville 150. I am your host, Rick Souza, and I'm joined here in the booth, as usual, my broadcast partner, John DeRudris.
Yeah, Rick, it's good to be here on this beautiful Wednesday night here in Nashville, Tennessee. It feels like this is like kind of my home track race. It kind of is, because the track's about 30 minutes away from me right now. So I can hear these guys from my office at the current moment. They are trucking around here. Well, I guess they're not trucks, they're cars. But they're riding around here. It's some pretty awesome speeds with some awesome paint schemes we have tonight. Looking right there at the number 80 of Alonzo King. That's a pretty cool paint scheme. You have Hermes Castro in a purple paint scheme. You'll see him a little bit later on. But Rick, it's a good night for racing in Nashville.
It sure is. We've got 150 laps at a track that should be very interesting for these drivers. It's not a track that they've run on before yet in this series, so definitely a lot to consider, especially this being, I believe, the 7th race of the season. Do you want to talk about the current point standings, John, at this point?
Absolutely. Let's bring up those current standings here up on the screen. And, well, doesn't look like the point standings are there, but what I can do is I will go over a couple point standings right now. I do have that. I can pull that up on my handy-dandy phone as we talk really quick. But, Rick, really the stranglehold on the season is with Joey Doucette. I mean, Joey Doucette has been on a tear recently, winning races. I mean, I believe he's up to 3 now, and he is leading the point standings over Ryan Pittman, over the previous point champion, Christopher Howell.
John,
there we go.
The truck finally got it to us. So.
All right, there we go. So as you can see, Joey Doucette is at the top of the board. He has done an amazing job this season with 3 wins, and it's just been a great run for him. Same thing with Ryan Pittman there, Harley Barletta, Christopher Howell, those AJM guys are all up front running strong. You don't forget about some of these other guys that are looking for their first win. You got Mike Slatker there in 5th, Ty Bostic in 6th, Ian Ogden as well. These guys are all looking for a win, and you never know, Rick, this could happen tonight here at a track that not many individuals have driven on here in this Tech4Troops Cup Series. But it looks like qualifying is just starting to get underway here, and there is the rest of those point standings you can take a look at there and whatnot, and we'll see. We got some graphical technical difficulties going on, but it's quite all right as we have cars rolling out onto the track for qualifying for tonight's Tech4Troops Nashville 150. There is Paul Valenstein out on the track right now in that very familiar number 89 machine, looking to have a strong run after some hiccups last week at Richmond. Last week's race, unfortunately, Rick, was ended because we just ran out of time. We just couldn't get the race done in the allotted amount of time, but I think that's going to definitely change here tonight in Nashville.
Yeah, I believe it sure will as well. We've got a whole different approach. I think there's definitely lots of time here, so this should be a great race with these guys. As with anything, this being the second season of the Tech4Troops Cup Series, we're going to shake out a little bit of bugs here and there. So I think we're in good shape as we get. This is race number 7 for this group. So we are seeing some times begin to populate our tower, and Alonzo King Jr., a new name, is now currently on top of the leaderboard.
He is. He's driving that number 80 Camaro, and he's put that machine to the top of the board early on, making a statement saying, hey, guys, I'm new here, but I know how to drive. Oh, got in the wall. Well, broadcaster's curse there, Rick. Well, he's just going to turn it right into the end of the wall. Well, I'll take the blame for that one there, Alonzo. I'll fix that right front toe link for you before the race. So, but there's a new leader to the top of the board, though. Joey Doucette, like I said, mentioned his name before. He is looking to make it now 4 wins on the season. I mean, he's making a strong contend for that championship. There's Mr. Tyler Peebles in that Halloween-themed M&M's car. Gotta love that paint scheme.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of new paint schemes tonight. These guys have kind of gone out and done that extra mile in preparation for tonight's event. So maybe we can take this opportunity while qualifying is continuing and about to wrap up soon to talk about John's keys to the race, if that works for you.
Absolutely, it works for me. So key number 1, and this is what we kind of see every week, is to preserve and conserve tires. We know that these cars and these tires definitely wear out, especially at the kind of loads that these cars are put under. So preserving tires, especially at a track that has a lot of bumps, which I'll talk about in point 3, is definitely essential. The second point and the second key to this race is corner entry. So these corners are unlike many in NASCAR. You have to really get a feel for how your car travels between the lanes. Because along with the corner entry, if you don't nail that right, you will not be able to get off the corner in the way that you want. And your corner exit is 100% dependent on your corner entry. So you may you feel like you have a good lap going into turn 1, you go into turn 2 just fine, and turn 3, you overshoot the corner, or maybe you back it up a little too much, your lap is completely shot. So you have to definitely pay attention to your corner entry on 1 and 3. And then third, bumps, especially going into 3 and 4 and in the middle of 1 and 2. The bumps here in Nashville, due to this, I believe, is it concrete surface, Rick, or is it asphalt?
I believe it's concrete with an asphalt apron.
Right. So with the concrete surface, it definitely poses a different kind of feel, and the fact that this track has not been repaved, the bumps here are absolutely outrageous. So mixing in corner entry, mixing in tires, it just produces a perfect storm for a lot of error. So the margin of error is very thin here, and you are going to basically ride on a fine line the entire race. So those are the 3 keys. Whoever can preserve the tires, master corner entry, and not get scared by these bumps out here in Nashville will bring home the victory tonight. We're looking on board right now with Dave Sharon seeing what he's doing on the track. Looks like he is going to be somewhere mid-pack as Joey Doucette and Hermes Castro lead the top of the board with an identical time.
That's pretty amazing. 29.89 for both. There's a handful of drivers, 4 so far, that have broken that 30 mark, and that is it for qualifying.
Yes, it is. And I got to give a shout out to AK Snipes on YouTube. He says, I don't even like NASCAR, but y'all's commentating is great. LOL. Well, we appreciate that, sir. And we appreciate you watching along. Maybe you'll become a fan. Who knows? Maybe just a motorsports fan in general. Whatever it is, we can definitely show it to you here on the IWA Broadcast Network. But Rick, let's introduce our starting lineup for tonight's Tech4Troops Nashville 150.
So, starting on the pole, Joey Doucette in that right now, that number 11, Hermes Castro on the outside in the 25. Behind Joey is Tyler Peebles in the 75. On the outside of Tyler, Luke Bullard in that number 3. On the inside, Alonzo King Jr., a new name here to the Tech4Troops Nashville 150 and the Tech4Troops Cup Series. He's in the 5th starting position in the 80, and on the outside, Ty Bostic in the 22. Ty's running a special paint tonight. It's a throwback to his, I believe it's his dad's paint scheme. So he's paying homage to a family paint scheme there in the number 22. In number 7, got Zachary Allen. He's in the 24. On the outside of Zachary is Alexander Schumacher in the 68. In 9th, Ryan Pittman in the 08. And outside in 10th, Mike Slagter in the 14.
Starting in P11, you have the number 81 machine of Harley Barletta. He's looking to have a strong run after kind of some mishaps last week at Richmond. To his outside, you have Andrew Surwick. We know he is strong there, and that number 43 machine. Starting in P13, out of Average Joe Motorsports, you have Ian Ogden. He's looking to get his first win on the season at number 21 car. And then Paul Valenstein in P14 out of Apollo Racing Club. He is looking to have a good run as well. Mark Feeney starting in P15 in that 73. Evan Amick starting P16 in the 77. New face to the Tech4Troops Cup Series is William Mann. He made his debut last week, proved that he can run to the front. We'll see what that 29 can do tonight. And to his outside, he has Pete Woodrum in the number 1 machine out of 304 Motorsports. They're starting P18. In P19, we have our good friend Freddie Durstock out of iRacing Warriors Motorsports on number 5. And to his outside, David P. Sharon in the 16 in P20.
In 21, you've got Marco Berube in the 99, and outside of Marco, he's got Sean Shootman in the 37. You've got the 23 of Eric Olva. That's number 53, actually, in 23rd position. In 25th position, you've got Robert Fake in the 72. In 27th, you've got Ray Radford in the 47. Bobby Gibson is in 28th in the number 28 car. 29th, you've got Dan Withers in the 67. And in 30th, David Watts in the 54. And bringing up the field, you've got the 91 of Brad Previtt. He's starting at the tail end of the field, but we don't expect to see him there for long.
No, we don't. No, we don't. We're about to get this race underway here tonight at Nashville. They're about to enter the Geico restart zone for the first time. Folks, get ready for an awesome race here in Music City. Joey Doucette on the point. And we are green flag racing here at Nashville. Looks like both lines stack up heavily because Hermes Castro did not want to beat that leader to line, and we're already going to go 3 wide, Rick, into turn 1.
Yeah, really concerned about turn 4 with this track with these guys. That's my biggest. Hopefully these guys will just be careful as they begin this race, and we'll see how it all goes down.
It looks like we have some more 3 wide action going on in the back, but everybody's able to keep it conservative. We'll see what's going to happen off of turn 4. Turn 4 is definitely a point of note. We got a car on the wall. That is the number 3 of Luke Bullard there. Looks like he's able to keep going. Lap 1 complete. Joey Doucette is your leader. And a lot of battles going on track right now. You see that number 3 car of Luke Bullard there on the high side. You have Tyler Peebles in front of him in that Halloween-themed number 75 machine. And the rest of the field is fairly spread out among the track.
So we'll work our way back through the field. We'll start up the front and get you an image of each of your favorite drivers and just get you a feel as to what they're seeing and doing. So let's jump up with Hermes Castro. Let's got Got Permos's information. He's in California.
Yep, looks like he took the lead over Joey Doucette for sure. So something must have happened to Doucette. May have gotten loose, but the 25 machine in that bright purple number 25 is taking the lead here.
Sitting behind Joey is, as you said, is Joey Doucette with those pink rims on that number 11. Behind Joey, you've got Tyler Peebles in that 75. Behind Tyler is Alonzo King in the 80, and he's trying to make a move on the 75 of Peebles. That's Alexander Schumacher in the 68. And that classic number 3 of Luke Bullard in that Sundrop number 3. There's that throwback with Ty Bostic in that 22. And the 24 of Zachary Allen. Behind Zachary is the 08. That 08 is Ryan Pittman. And behind Ryan in the 43 is Andrew Serwick. Behind the 43 is the 81 of Harley Barletta. And the 21 of Ian Ogden. Mike Slagter fills in behind. He's the number 14. And behind Mike is the 89 of Paul Valenstein. Behind Paul is Mark Feeney in that 73. And the number 1 of Pete Woodrum. Behind Pete, the 37 of Sean Shootman. And the 77 of Evan Amick. Behind Evan is the number 5 of Freddie Durstock. And behind Freddie, the Dr. Pepper car of Bobby Gibson. Marco Berube is behind Bobby, and then behind Marco, the 29 of William Mann Jr. Robert Fake is in the 72. And then David P. Sharon in the 16. 52 of Eric Ova. And the 54 of David Watts. Behind David is Brad Previtt in the 91. And behind Brad is Ray Radford in the 47.
That should wrap up our entire field here as Ray Radford is the last car on the lead lap. Your leader, Hermes Castro, is out to a 2.3 second lead here tonight. 10 laps into the Tech4Troops Nashville 150. We appreciate everybody watching along. And AK Snipes, yes, this is the next gen NASCAR vehicle that they just released this year. You are looking at a Chevrolet Camaro right there in P1. That is the 25 machine of Hermes Castro. And there's a Toyota there. There's a Ford Mustang there. So those are all the different manufacturers here tonight. Looks like I have a battle right there between the 80 of King and Doucette. Doucette's not going to let him by. And King is like, okay, I'm going to get a run on you going into turn 1.
Yeah, the 68 of Alexander Schumacher is right there waiting for whoever makes the first mistake.
Absolutely, and the important thing to remember here is that you can run multiple lines here in Nashville, especially early on with the way that the tires are going to matter more than late in runs. As you can see, that 68 running that middle to high groove and the 80 and the 11 running the low groove. You can do that, not for many laps, but you can do it there as we can see Alexander Schumacher trying to make the pass on the number 80 of Alonzo King. Rick, one thing we did not go over tonight, we didn't go over the track facts. Let's see if we can pop up that graphic really quick to kind of give a rundown of everything going on tonight here in the Tech4Troops Nashville 150. Obviously, there's going to be an 150-mile race because it's a mile-long track, so that means 150 laps here. It's a fairly cool night in Nashville. Feels good to me at a comfortable 71. And we're going to have one quick repair. So if you're new to the broadcast, what a quick repair means is, like, let's say you wreck and you think your race is over, well, you can have a quick repair, which basically restores your car to brand new, and it's basically a redo here for all these drivers. And we also have 5 sets of additional tires, which definitely will be used here tonight in the Tech4Troops Nashville 150, as well as 60% fuel. So we don't run 100% fuel here in the league because of our races are shorter than normal length, so we run 60% fuel. And so with that calculation, Rick, I believe we're going to start seeing some pit stops more than likely around in between lap 50 to 60, I would believe.
All right, well, we are 14 laps in the book, 137 laps to go. We've been so far, I'm going to avoid the broadcaster curse, we've been incident-free here at Nashville.
Be careful what you say, Rick.
Yeah. Well, but this is about that time, around 15 laps, where we will see some tire wear. We will see the beginning of some, the speeds begin to fall off a bit based on what we have versus qualifying. So, for example, Joey Doucette their qualifying time was somewhere in the 29 and change range. Now the last lap was a 30.5. So we're definitely seeing a full second drop off between just 15 laps to go.
And we're also seeing that the lead has shrunk significantly. And AK Snipe said, we're going to need to check Castro's engine after this race. That man is cooking. Well, he was cooking for a while. Now that 11 has been brought up to his bumper here just in the last few laps. So I wonder if Castro possibly used up all his tires, Rick.
He may have, and though at the same time he may be backing off a little bit. It's a long race. There's 150 laps here for these guys. There's nothing that can really get you to the front and let you win after lap 17. So the other thing that I do see Hermas Castro doing is he is dropping down to the apron, which is asphalt, and then working back up onto the concrete track. So that bit of transition will increase the wear of your tire.
Yes, it will, and it's common to see that here at Nashville, but we've been to Phoenix in this car, and we've seen what that can do to those machines. You don't want to do it too long, because if you do it too long, you're kind of going to damage your car, honestly. So we'll see what happens here now as the lead has changed to Joey Doucette. He's been on a tear this season, already has 3 wins, and is positioning himself strong here early on in that number 11 Veterans Project Toyota. Man, that was a mouthful. So Joey Doucette doing a great job here tonight. We just want to give a quick shout out to all of our wonderful sponsors here in the Tech4Troops Nashville, or the Tech4Troops Cup Series rather. Our title sponsor, the Tech4Troops. You can go check them out at tech4troops.org. They're an amazing veteran organization that supports veterans and their families and assisting them with technology and employment opportunities after the deployment. So they're an awesome organization there. We want to give a shout out to U-Haul as well. Want to give a shout out to the 1111 Veteran Project, and also want to give a shout out to Jimmy Strong, a hashtag Jimmy Strong, as well as Elite Performance Industries. We thank you all for being a part of this awesome Cup Series that we got. Now the Tech4Troop Cup Series, the title sponsor for many seasons to come. And go check out any of those sponsors. They're awesome companies, and they're awesome causes. So, Rick, right now, 20 laps into this race, it looks like the field is somewhat closer together than I was anticipating between really the top 4 and the top 10. As you can see, the first 4 cars right there in line, but don't look too far back. Basically, 5th to 11th is right there.
Yeah, as you can see by the track map, we got a little bit of a spread with the drivers right now. They're currently covered about 3/4 of the actual track itself, and with about 3 to 4 different groups of drivers as they work together to try and make their way back up to the front. Now, you're correct. Right now, you got the top 4 that are battling, and we've seen some definite lead changes. You've seen, Hermas Castro, and Hermas actually fall back to 9th at this point, so he's fading back a little bit. You've seen Joey Doucette, who is our current leader, but Right on his tail is Alonzo King, and Alexander Schumacher coming up right up behind him with Tyler Peebles right on his tail. The next big battle is back here with Zachary Allen and the 22 of Ty Bostic.
And, you know, this track, it does seem very wide, but it doesn't drive like it's a wide track. I mean, you could fill up 3 or 4 cars right there if you really wanted to. I would never suggest that. But you could fill up this track, you know, 3 or 4 wide, you know, if you could run it. Definitely wouldn't recommend it. But the track does not drive like a large track. There's really only a few grooves that you want to run, and one of them is that middle groove, and one of them is that bottom groove. As you can see, Luke Bullard there in the top line trying to make his way around. I believe that is Luke Bullard, and is that Pittman?
That's that's Ryan Pittman in the 08.
Ryan Pittman running a different paint scheme. As you see the 08 slide up the track, gets the 3 high. No contact made, but they're going to still battle as he's running the Halloween Peanuts paint scheme. Well, that's awesome. Man, Ryan's spot on with these paint schemes, Rick. I got to say, between the NASCAR racing paint schemes. Oh, Luke Bullard in the wall.
Yep, a little bit of paint off the right side of that 3.
Looks like he's able to keep it going there.
Well, and we are at lap 25, and so that's 25 laps of wear on these tires. They're certainly going to find themselves pushing a little bit more as they enter these corners, and certainly their ability to stick on the low line is going to be a bit of a challenge for these guys.
Yeah, as it is, you can see right there that the 3 had a major run going into turn 3.
So that was, if you caught that, the sparks, that was the 14 of Mike Slagter. He was also giving a little kiss to the wall there as well as he went around and tagged that safer barrier.
Yep, you know, it's turn 4. We're going to token this term for Nashville, the turn 4 monster. We've seen a lot of spins coming out of turn 4 in practice. It's a very common place to spin because the car is unloading in a very unusual way as you literally you're sliding from the bottom portion of the track up to the top, and you could just wear your tires out. So I would not be too surprised to see I would not be too surprised to see spins there tonight. But right now, 27 in, Rick, we've kept it clean and kept it green, which is what we like to see here in the Tech4Troops Cup Series. Well, there's William Mann Jr.
I think if we bring back up that track map again, you're going to see that where we were covering 3/4 of the track, we're now pretty much covering the entire track. So after lap 20, now lap 28, the wear is now a factor.
It definitely is, and you know, this is where conserving tires, my first key to the race, can play a major role in where you go basically 15 to 20 laps into a run. As you can see, Joey Doucette started on pole, but he dropped back, was 2 seconds off the leader, Hermes Castro. Now where are they? Luke's pulled out, or not Luke, my bad, Joey's pulled out to a almost 1 second lead over Alonzo King, and Hermes Castro's all the way back in P13 right now. So you can see how tire conservation will be the name of the game here in the Tech4Troops Nashville 150, as it looks like we have a battle for P4 right now.
We do. Right now, Ty Bostic is there, Andrew Schumacher. Very tight battle right here between these guys.
And don't look too far in front of that leader, Rick. Got the Jaws music playing because we have some cars that are about to go a lap down to the Shark here tonight. Joey Doucette. Oh, Ty Bostic still up the track a little bit, but that's another thing. As the run goes on, this track, you can get lapped. It's a big possibility. It's only a mile-long track, and with the way that people are, you know, maybe not conserving as much tires as others, you may see some cars get lapped very early in the race, and there's Bradley Previtt right there. I believe that's also David Watts. So we'll see what happens now as the leaders are trying to make their way through lap traffic.
I think Brad basically slid up and said, you know what? You're faster than I am. Go right ahead. And so we'll see the same thing with David Watts, and that puts the 52 of Eric Ova on the next one. That was go back and look just who was in that wall back there. That was someone was taking the right side paint off their car.
And yep, we got more contact right there. I believe that was the 24 machine and the 91. Somebody in that group tagged the front stretch wall. So this is where it becomes very interesting, Rick. Who is going to do what within these lap traffic, situations? And, that could be a bonus tip is traffic navigation and trying to get through all of these lap cars. That can play a major role in how you finish this race.
Well, as it wasn't just the leaders working their way up through lap traffic. Now the rest of the field is making their way past some of the other drivers as well, putting them a lap down. So yeah, you've got certainly a lot of passing going on, and now we are 33 plus laps in the books on this first set of tires. There's some guys who are probably hoping for a yellow flag or a pit stop pretty soon.
Yep, you are spot on there. Brittany Bullard says, "Let's go, Luke." So got a supporter there, Mr. Luke. So good to see your fam out supporting you tonight. He is running right now. Brittany, he is running in P11. He is running in 11th place. Kind of kept that position, but he's been battling the entire race long. So we'll see how he's able to make his way back up through the field. And right now, Rick, let's see if we could go a little bit action right in front of there between the 21 and the 43 of Andrew Serwick and Ian Ogden. And 3 wide. There goes Luke to the bottom. Bold move, spot on.
And Hermas Castro dropped to the apron.
He's going to go below the 3, or maybe he's not going to go below 3. Good move by Hermas Castro right there. I thought he was going to try to make that very interesting between him and Luke, but he made the wise decision of not trying to go down to the bottom of that number 3 sun drop machine. But as I was saying, let's see if we can go on board with the leader, Joey Doucette, for a lap around Nashville Superspeedway and see what he sees here in the cockpit. So here he is going into turn 1 and turn 2, and it is a very bumpy track. I mean, this track is probably up in the top 3 of the bumpiest surfaces on the NASCAR circuit, mainly because they just started coming here 2 years ago. And the track it's old and it's not used to these cars. It's not used to action, so it's a very bumpy surface. Here he comes off of turn 4, sliding it right up against the wall, does a nice job. And, Rick, he's not really sliding it as much as I've seen other cars slide. He's not easing it into the corner, letting the car settle down, and just letting the car kind of drive itself. I mean, that's a great way to approach the track.
Yeah, he's just kind of feathering that throttle coming out of turn 2 and letting the car come up to speed on the backstretch, and still, putting it 150 plus miles per hour. And, you can hear him get off the throttle and work himself back up through the front stretch. Nearly 175 miles an hour on that front stretch.
Yep, he's doing a great job here tonight out front here in the Tech4Troops Nashville 150, supporting the 1111 Veteran Project. If you haven't checked that organization out, we implore you to do. That's another great organization that we have on board a lot of these vehicles here tonight, as well as one of the sponsors for the Tech4Troops Cup Series. Right now, it looks like he is possibly going to make his way around the number 5 of Freddie Durstock there in that Cincy Tint Shop Emerald coating Toyota.
Yep, Freddie Durstock was the last car on the lead lap. Got the 73 of Feeney. It's the 75. Sorry, confusing him with Mark Feeney. You've got the 75 of Tyler Peebles, who is currently in second, trying to work his way around Freddie as well. No, we've got Tyler on pit road.
Interesting. So pit stop number 1
lap 40
goes to Mr. Tyler Peebles. So I'm going to make a note of this. Lap 40, Tyler Peebles. All right,
Bullard.
We'll see. Yeah, Luke Bullard's coming down pit road as well. We have, I think, some more takers.
John Shootman, he's headed out though. Also, you got Evan Amick coming down, and actually, you've got Joey Doucette, our leader, is now on pit road, and the rest of the 1111 team is coming down.
Oh, we have a car that possibly missed pit road. He got back. That was, I believe, Paul Valenstein. He made it down pit road though, all nice and clean. So we'll see how this field shakes out right now. The leaders are on pit road. You have different strategies. You have a lot of the top 10 on pit road, and right now, this is another crucial part of how you finish this race, is how well you do on pit road.
So right now we're keeping an eye on Joey Doucette. We saw he's got 4 tires and a full tank of Sunoco fuel. And we've got Ty Bostic, Zachary Allen, Alexander Schumacher, Hermas Castro, Andrew Surwick, and Marco Berube are currently now on pit road. So lap 42, this is the time to come back in. You know, when you saw all those leaders come in, you realize it is time to go in. The longer you hang out, the farther behind you will fall, because these guys are all on fresh tires.
That is the truth, Rick. That is the truth. So we'll see what happens as we have some battling going on the track. And, you know, this is going to definitely shake up our field. But once everybody comes down pit road and this order is settled out, we will give you the current running order. And if you are watching along on any of our social channels tonight, whether it's Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, doesn't matter what it is, we'd love for you to give us a subscribe and a like to the video so we can reach more motorsports and racing enthusiasts. That was a very dangerous move by the 29 machine, I gotta say. I thought that was going to be a for sure caution, but you know, we've been caution free. But we want to give you thanks to everybody watching along, and if you could give us a subscribe and a like, we would greatly appreciate it. We have multiple other leagues that we are broadcasting. We have a great Super Speedway league. If you're into only Super Speedways all the time, we have a great Super Speedway league every Tuesday night, as well as this league, the Tech4Troops Cup Series, every Wednesday, same time, same broadcast network. So we greatly appreciate that, and greatly appreciate you tuning in tonight to the broadcast. But Rick, we're almost a third of the way through this race, and there hasn't been a caution. I am stoked. This is awesome.
Okay, let's not jinx these poor guys, but yeah, it's awesome. Great racing tonight. Tyler Peebles is currently he's in first place right now. Joey Doucette is currently hunting him back down. We'll try to see what that gap looks like between the two. Just under 2 seconds. And, you know, speaking of our broadcast schedule, we have a special event coming up on November 20th. You'll hear more about it over the next month as we begin to get ready. But we've got a 500-mile event that is a charity event. We will have a full contingent of broadcasters as part of this. We'll be covering it turn by turn, and we will have a special pre-race event. So stay tuned as details begin to come around. We will get you more information, but right now that will be the afternoon of November 20th.
That's going to be a fantastic event, and I can't wait for it. I think it's going to be one of the coolest things that we have ever done in the IWM Broadcast Network, for sure, Rick. So that's going to be a fun event, an awesome event to cover, and we couldn't be happier to be able to cover that event and bring that to all of the subscribers and fans out there. So
yeah, it'll be the second annual Ryan Sadusky 500, but again, we'll get you more information as it flushes out.
Absolutely we will. Absolutely we will. Right now, the information is all with that number 11 car. He's tracking down that number 75 of Tyler Peebles, cut it down to a 2.5 seconds in counting. And Rick, I think it's just a matter of time before he catches that 75 machine.
Yeah, he's certainly working hard to get back up there. But again, it's lap 48 of 150. We're just coming up to about the 1/3 mark here at Nashville. So plenty of time, and plenty of time for your favorite driver. He happens to be back in the field. There's plenty of opportunity to come back, even if they've fallen a lap down. They get their lap back. So yeah, lots of good racing yet to come. Why don't we take this opportunity, John, to go side by side and take a quick commercial break. And you won't miss a second of the action. You'll see it right there as we go.
When veterans get out of the military, a lot of them don't know how to translate their skill sets into the civilian world, and they lapse into poverty or into homelessness. But it can be easier with the right support. At Tech4Troops, our mission is to empower veterans in need with computers and training to get back in the workforce. We want to be able to support our veterans across the nation.
Hello, my name is Amanda, and I support Tech4Troops.
All right, welcome back. We are at lap 50 here at Nashville for the Tech4Troops Nashville 150. We've got 100 laps to go, and we are seeing a fabulous race with these guys. They are doing a great job out there, battling it side by side, sometimes 3 wide. So thanks for tuning in, and we're hoping for some great continued racing.
Yes, we are. It looks like had some talk over the chat. Somebody said sorry, and I don't know for what. So I'm kind of looking around. I don't see anything going on. So it looks like we are clean and green. So everything, holding true. Your top 10 as it stands right now. You got Tyler Peebles in P1. Joey Doucette in second. Alonzo King right there in P3. Alexander Schumacher in fourth. Ryan Pittman in fifth. Harley Barletta is in P6. Excuse me. Guys, I got a frog in my throat now. Ty Bostic in seventh. Luke Bullard in eighth. Mike Sladker in ninth. And now Zachary Allen is up into P10. Look at that awesome throwback scheme for Mr. Bostic there, throwing it back to his family. That's awesome.
All right, let's jump back a little bit. The field is really spread out, John. Let's take a, and we would expect to see that typically, anyways, with that first pit stop.
Yes, we would. And right now we have 16 cars. 20 cars on the lead lap. Right now, Evan Amick is the last car on the lead lap. And it's just a matter of time, with as far as this race has gone caution-free, the longer it runs, the more cars will go a lap down. So it's just a matter of time before, the field will start shrinking down with cars that are on the lead lap. But we want to give a shout out to everybody that's on the track tonight who is competing. Y'all are doing a great job and representing the Tech4Troops Cup Series very well with 54 laps of clean, green, non-interrupted coverage of the Tech4Troops Nashville 150. So, Rick, as it stands right now, Tyler Peebles only has about a half-second gap between him and Mr. Doucette. So it's I think it might be about time for that number 11 to pass that 75. He's been consistently gaining on him, and that's what it takes to win here in the Tech4Troops Cup Series.
Well, that's a 28 of Bobby Gibson, who just moved up to the outside to let the leaders go. Bobby was the last car on the lead lap, and now he is Pete Woodrum. One is now the last car on the lead lap. Got about a turn to get before we get to Pete Woodrum's car. But you're correct. We're definitely seeing the 11 car, and frankly the 80 of Alonzo King. They're closing that gap to Tyler Peebles at this time. All right, 95 laps to go. We got 56 laps in the books, and they keep ticking away as we work our way down. You saw the first round of pit stops come in around lap 40. Somebody pitted on 39, some at 40, some at 41, but pretty much lap 40 is or 40 laps is kind of our marker for that next round of pit stops.
Yes, it is, and we will make a note of that tonight. And also want to make a note to Angelin. She has been supporting us for a long time, and she says, hey guys, good luck to all the drivers. So thank you, Angelin, for always tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. We also have another shout out. Go number 28 from Mr. Wicks.
That's Bobby Gibson.
Yep, that is Mr. Gibson right there. He is right now currently in P20th, one lap down, but he just got the broadcaster's curse because he went in the wall, Rick. I am so sorry. Gosh.
He didn't want the right side of that car anyway. So.
No, he didn't. He wanted the fans to have it. So
the camera only shows the left side, so it's all good.
Exactly. As it shows the right side right now. No, it's awesome to have everybody supporting you right now. And Donna says Ty Bostic's car is an exact replica of one of his grandfather, Bill Bostic's, her dad's car. So cool. So that's awesome. So that's who it is. Let's see if we can show that car really quick, Rick. That is amazing heritage. Just love those stories. Love to see those throwback paint schemes, and maybe later in the season we'll see some more throwback paint schemes depending on the track we go to. But that's awesome, Donna, and we're glad that we could represent that car on the track in the Tech4Troops Cup Series, and glad to have Ty with us. He's a great driver out of Rockingham,
and that's what you'll see with a lot of these drivers. Not only, some of them are just Walter Middies who just watch NASCAR on TV, and they decide to get involved. They played video games, or they came out of the driving games where it came from, whether it's NASCAR Heat or another driving game. But a lot of these guys have real life experience where whether it was themselves or their family that actually were involved in racing or are involved in racing, and they use this, whether it's our guys or other guys on the iRacing platform, they use this as part of their training, and they're keeping their chops as a driver.
They do, and it's one of the best on the market, if not the best on the market, when it comes to the tracks. I mean, Nashville Superspeedway. This is a newer track to iRacing because they brought it once the Cup Series announced that it was going to be on the schedule. And what they do is they laser scan every single track to the absolute T. So every bump, every crack, every single crevice that is shown and you feel in the car on iRacing is what you will feel in the car if you drive it on the real track. Now, obviously, depending on what your setup's like and everything, like if you have it, attached to your desk, or if you have one of the motion rigs, it all depends. But everything that you will see and feel in the car is identical to what you could feel and what you would feel if you went around the actual tracks. So it's awesome.
As we were kind of painting back through the field, Joey Doucette has retaken the lead over the 75 of Tyler Peebles, and he is about to run up on Pete Woodrum in that Tech4Troops 1.
Yes, he is, and watch out, guys. Oh, little close racing there. 3 wide, watch out. 3 wide on the front stretch. That's definitely scary. It's a scary place to be, whether the high side, middle, or the bottom. Doesn't really matter where you are. But it looks like right now this is kind of shaping out to be the same race that we had before the pit stops. You had Joey Doucette out front with Tyler Peebles, Alexander Schumacher, and Alonzo King all battling for that really second, third, and fourth position. As right now it looks like Tyler Peebles will prevail in P2 as the 80 is trying to get around the number 68 of Alexander Schumacher.
Yeah, again, as we talked about earlier, there are different lines around this track. You can capitalize on the low line, but again, as you take that low line around, tire wear begins to be a factor.
Yes, it does. And, right now, a lot of these guys have about 25 laps on their tires. So 25 laps is a lot. And we have seen what happens with 25-lap-old tires. The tires start to wear, they get a little slippery, and that turn 4 wall starts to become a little bit closer every time you go by. So we'll see how these guys are managing it right now. One driver I do want to make a note of, Hermes Castro, has kind of settled down in P12 right now. He was your second-place driver on the grid, went up to the lead, and a little contact there, I believe, maybe between the 80 and the 68. Some tight racing going on between those two individuals. We'll keep on board and stay on to this battle because this is the hottest battle on the track. But Hermes Castro has made his way back to about P12.
We'll jump along and just see where. So right now he's got a lot of open track ahead of him. Hermes Castro's last lap was the 31:13, which the current leader, Joey Doucette, just did a 31:30. So he is definitely making up some time here after 27 laps on those tires.
Yes, he is. We'll see what he's able to do here a little bit later in the run. But looks like Mr. Schumacher got around King there for P3. But that battle is still not over yet. That 80 has been strong all night long. You could see him on the bottom there. It looks like a car in the wall maybe at a 2. Is that the 54 machine?
It's possible that's David Watts.
David Watts. Yep, David Watts.
I'm sure when the leaders went by, he tried to move up to let them go by and may have got some contact with the safer barrier. A little bit of close racing with the 81 of Harley Barletta as he tries to make his way around David King.
Yep, a little bit of close action, and we got another shout out from Brianna Bostic. Go Zach, number 24.
Zach's doing well. That's Zachary Allen in the 24.
Interesting. So, Mr. Zach, yeah, he's doing well in that 7th spot. Started in that 7th spot, has kind of just hovered around, and Mr. Ty Bostic is right in front of Zach. So those two drivers very close together here tonight.
All right, so at this point, we can take a look at the gap right now. Mr. Doucette has nearly jumped out to just about a half-second lead over the 75 of Tyler Peebles. Hanging out behind Tyler is the 68 of Alexander Schumacher. You've got the 80 of Alonzo King, and now he finds himself with the 81 of Harley Barletta nipping at that rear bumper.
You know, Harley's been looking for a strong run all year long, and this could definitely be the track where he gets that potential podium finish. And speaking of podium finishes, if you are new to the Tech4Troops Cup Series, if you are new to what we do here on the IWM Broadcast Network, after every race, we will interview the top 3 positions live for you all. So that's why we say make sure to stick around to the end. We may be interviewing your favorite driver as we are looking on at Ty Bostic. But Harley Barletta up now to P4, doing a great job.
Yeah, we're kind of making our way back through the field. You know, as the field has shaken up, there's drivers in different positions. Right now, that's the 08 of Ryan Pittman, currently in the 8th position. Luke Bullard is behind him in the 3. Behind Luke, you've got the 21 of Ian Ogden. And that's your top 10.
That is, and we got some clarification, Rick. Brittany Bullard says, we're all family here. Ty, Zach, and Luke. It's a family affair. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. All of y'all. Okay, there we go. So I was wondering, I was like, why is she cheering on Zach if her last name is Bostic? Wouldn't she want to cheer on Mr. Ty? But now it all makes sense. So thanks for the clarification. We can all understand now the tie there. So awesome job. Love to see that out here on the track. And there's Mr. Bullard, as we were just mentioning. Brittany there, and he just tagged the wall. Rick, you know, I may just not say anything about any other driver because every time I talk about a driver, he tags the wall. So that's on me. That's number 2.
Well, and you know, this is a race where it really is about repetition, right? You have got to hit your marks. Although you hear that at every track, but here it really matters. You've got to make sure that you find your braking points, or at least you're out of the throttle points as you make your way around this track.
Especially in turn 1, you know, just to elaborate on that, turn 1 is vastly different than turn 4. You would not expect how much braking you need to go under to get your car to rotate going into turn 1 compared to turn 4. And that's where a lot of drivers can find their way up the track and kind of, you know, overshoot the entire corner, which messes up your entire lap, like I mentioned before. So, like you said, you know, corner entry and rhythm here is all part of running a successful race and staying up front. And right now, it looks like we are riding along board. Who is this car, Rick?
This is the number 80 of Alonzo King. So let's take a ride around Nashville for a lap or 2 with the number 80 of Alonzo King. Alonzo's currently in 5th place. And you heard a downshift there. Entering into 3, he is downshifting. Well, into 4, he is downshifting and upshifting on the backstretch.
Yep, that's pretty common as the race goes on because you are not carrying as much speed into the corner. You don't want your car to get bogged down, so pop that gear into 4th and get your RPMs up to get a better run off the corner. Very smart strategy. I do that myself here at Nashville, running here in the next-gen cars. So that is definitely the appropriate mark and the appropriate strategy you want to use for sure.
So we are seeing some early pit stops. We got Hermas Castro, Ryan Pittman, and Sean Schupman. Eric Olva are all currently on pit road getting tires and fuel.
So Rick, that was exactly 38 laps after their last stop. So right now, looks like the fuel window is between 38 and 40.
Well, I expect to see that we will see our leaders come down within the next 2 laps. If they just stick to their mantra of 40-30 or 40-40, they'll be around lap 80. We should expect to see them. So that's Bradley Previtt going another lap down. We'll stay focused on the 11 car of Joey Doucette. So we're coming.
Yep, he should be making his way around here pretty soon, I would imagine here. If not this next lap, but going on to lap 81, I would imagine.
So that's lap 80 in the books. We are past the halfway point here. We have been caution-free all night. That was right now. I got Luke Bullard and Mike Slagter currently on pit road. We're expecting to see this 11 car come in soon, and my guess is he will have a bit of company on pit road.
Yep, it looks like Tyler Peebles may be making his way down pit road. Yes, he is. He was coming in hot. I think he was able to make it though. So that's going to be interesting to see how these cars play out after this. Tyler Peebles pits before the leader. So we'll see how this all shakes out after all the green flag stops occur.
Tyler Peebles is on pit road by himself. The last 2 are out that we're on, so I'm sure that those guys behind Joey, Alexander Schumacher, Alonzo King, Zachary Allen, Ty Bostic will be following him. Harley Barletta and Ian Ogden are now coming down pit road. That's 2 of the 11-11 team drivers coming in. I'm expecting that we will see.
Yep,
Joey,
I just got word the 11 is coming down this time. 11 is coming down this time.
See that flash of flame out the exhaust? That's the driver letting off and then getting on the brakes. So right now we've got Joey Doucette, Alexander Schumacher, Zach Allen, Ty Bostic all in right now. Alonzo King is going around. He is currently showing as the leader. Maybe pick up a point or 2 for that. Oh, a close call on pit road.
Yeah, very close between Valentine there, and I believe that was Schumacher.
It was a 68. Looks like the 24 may have overshot his pit a little bit and had to put it in reverse and back it up. Alonzo King is now on pit road.
There's the 11 off pit road, so that was your original leader. We'll see where Mr. I believe Peebles, comes out here after all this shapes out. Oh, almost more contact on pit road. Oh, got a car almost off. That was Mr. Paul Valentine there, I believe, coming on the pit road.
That was.
Yep.
Well, on the track right now, William Mann Jr. is currently showing as the leader. He has not pitted yet. He last pitted on lap 43, so he's got a little bit extra fuel in his tank because he's a little bit off cycle with the current leaders, but we expect to see him come back down on pit road momentarily. You know, funny, I mean, his last lap here was a 32:21. You know, he is definitely about 2 seconds slower than the current leader. That 43 of Andrew Surwick, he just came in, and so he's got fresh rubber. You can see him powering past the 29.
Yeah, it's not even close, the comparison there between those 2 cars. We'll see if he comes down pit road right now, and I believe he will.
All right, that should be our last driver. I think David Watts is still due to come in, but other than that, everybody has come down pit road. So David Watts and I think David P. Sharon are due. But right now, let's go back up at Tyler Peebles. He is showing us the way, and he is currently leading the Tech4Troops Nashville 150 at lap 86.
You know, I really like this strategy by the 75 because what he's done is he has put himself in a position to lead this race at the very end. Because right now, these guys are going to have to come back down in about 40 laps, so about lap 120, and then you have a 30-lap shootout till the end. So, since he's a little bit off cycle, could he potentially be able to grow that lead enough to where on the back end of that run, he will have enough lead to where he will stay out front in front of the guys who may have maybe a lap or so, or 2 laps, or 3-lap fresher tires? So it's a very interesting call because you could really pit on lap 1. Oh, we
Freddie
have a wrecking
Durstock.
2. Wrecking 2 and no caution yet. No caution. I think we're going to say green,
Caution.
Rick.
Nope. Caution's out.
Oh, we have our first caution of the night. Well, that changes everything, Mr. Souza.
Well, it sure does. But interestingly enough, everybody just pitted. So they may come back in for a fuel-only stop, but that's pretty much about it.
You know, it's an interesting call because let's think about this. If
Well,
you
let's
come down,
let's try to take a peek first at
oh yes.
at Freddie's incident here. Let's try to see what happened here. Turn
Oh,
4.
Kind of snapped on him.
Well, turn 4.
Yeah, it was a turn 4 monster. Got Mr. Durstock, but he didn't. He held it down. Did exactly what he was supposed to do. And iRacing was like, oh, your nose is on the track, so we're going to throw a caution.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
So, yeah, it's unfortunate. But, you know, Rick, we had 88 laps of green flag action here tonight. That was a great first run by these leaders and by everybody in the field. So I want to give a shout-out to every single driver out there for an awesome 88-lap run. But, Rick, you know, let's talk about this pit strategy. You could come down pit road right now, get a fresh set of tires, lose all your track position, but you would be technically 10 laps to the good on tires and 10 laps better than the rest of the drivers come down on lap 130 and have, 20 laps to go to where you could run harder, or you could stay out, save a little bit of gas. You have a little bit older tires. You come down about lap 125 and potentially, have a 25-lap run. So, I mean, it's really to each of his own. I mean,
Well,
do you think it'd be worth it coming down pit road?
Oh, yeah, you got Hermas Castro, Alonzo King, and Harley Barletta all came down. They had just pitted.
I kind of see the value in pitting here because it's not going to throw you completely off cycle, and it's also not going to be completely, you're not going to be able to go to the end, essentially. And they have enough tires. They have 5 sets, so these guys are probably on their 3rd set with at least one more pit stop to go, so they're at least 1 set to the good. I actually am a fan of this.
Let's see if we can grab, see if we can reach out and tap into the radio of Harley Barletta. Let's see if we can reach her.
Let's do it.
Harley, welcome to the broadcast booth.
What's up, man? How's it going?
It's good. We were just debating that strategy of driving it, coming in down the pits for this. What are your thoughts?
Well, if we stay green here, we got at least, maybe one more stop. Yeah, definitely one more stop. So, got another set of tires. Might as well take it now and see if we can get track position on these guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was envisioning. If I was out there, I would have done the same thing. So right now, I mean, looks like you're going to be shown probably somewhere near the back of the field. It looks
14th.
like
Yeah, 14th.
14th. So do you think that those fresher tires are going to play a big enough difference to where you can make your way up through the field? I mean, obviously the answer is yes. But do you think that will play a factor later in the run?
Hopefully, as long as we stay green like we have, we should be fine. I mean, if we get cautions, I pretty much screwed myself. But let's take a shot at it. Why not?
All right. Well, good luck to you, Harley. We'll let you get back to it.
Thanks, guys. Good talking to you.
All right. That was Harley Barletta. He is currently in the 81 car, and he just dropped down pit road. We were just asking about his pit strategy. This caution has kind of jumbled up the field a little bit. We've had some takers on pit road who have come down, but we're probably about to go green pretty soon.
Yeah, and we want to pay attention specifically to Mr. Alonzo King. He was the first car off of pit road in P12 with those 10-lap fresher tires and a full tank of fuel. So this is the strategy game that these guys are playing. Okay, do you come down pit road? Do you not? I agree with Harley. I think if we stay green, I think it's a good move. I really do, because you're going to basically be, 10 laps to the good compared to these other guys. So the battle is, though, do you run it harder, and that way you make a position where you're evening it out over the long run, or do you conserve a little bit so you can gain more on the long run and the closer to when you need to pit down pit road? It's only time will tell, Rick. Only time will tell.
So we'll be at 58 laps to go. We know they can do 42, 43, possibly stretch it a little bit more. So you're going to have to come back down for fuel and tires one more time. So we shall see. So stay tuned. It could be a round of green flag pit stops. All right, lights are off on top of the pace car. We're about to go back to green flag racing.
Yes, we are. Could be a one green flag stop, or it could be many cautions. Hopefully, it's not the many cautions, and hopefully we get green flag action. But it's the Cup cars at Nashville. We'll see what happens here. But right now, the field is making their way out of turn 4. Pace car has dropped down pit road. 75 is the control car. Once he gets that Geico restart zone, he will be the control car. And he is off. Green flag racing back out at Nashville.
Great jump. He actually held that 68 car back a bit and then just took off once he got in and through the Geico restart zone. So again, Tyler Peebles continues to show us the way here. We are at lap 93 of 150 for the Tech4Troops Nashville 150.
I gotta say, there's some big movers going on in the back. Hermes Castro, you got the Mr. Alonzo King. You got these guys there making 2 and 3 wide moves all throughout the track. Mr. Castro is up to P10.
A little bit of a block, I think, or there a little bit of action between the 43 and the 80.
Possibly, yes.
Remember, everybody's on fresh tires. They are pretty much very little damaged race cars, so they're out there nearly just starting all over. This race just gets a reset. Here we are with a 57-lap shootout.
Yes, it is. And right now, these guys in front do have about 8 laps older tires, so we'll see how that plays out as the run goes on. Hermes Castro and Alonzo King are on the outside trying to get around this group, but not able to do so.
A lot of traffic to work through for sure. Especially these guys who took the opportunity to get fresh tires and fuel. They've got to work their way back up through a lot of traffic.
Oh, a little bump there between Mr. Castro and I believe that is Ian Ogden. And that's going to open up the door for the 80 to get right to his bumper. That 80 wants that position, and 25 is going to go up the block.
Little loose coming out of turn 4 for the 25 of Hermes Castro. In the wall a little bit there for a second.
Oh, a little bump again. Just going to move the 21 up the track. And Castro is clear of that 21 machine, and now he has a trunk full of the number 80 car of Alonzo King.
Harley Barletta is now up to 13th position, so he's taken an opportunity to knock off the 37 of Sean Shipman. The 29 of William Mann Jr. is our last car on the lead lap.
Got a pretty tight battle up for first, Rick. We got the 75 and the 68. You had a little bit of a block going down the backstretch between that 75 car and Mr. Serwick there. So we'll see how, or Mr. Schumacher there, excuse me. So we'll see how that plays out, because blocking here is not a great part. We'll see if he's able to do it this time. He does not block the inside lane. That leaves Schumacher plenty of room to go to the bottom side going to the 3.
Side-by-side racing coming out of turn 4 into the front stretch.
Schumacher is still not, well, he's clear, but the 75 is right back there going to do a crossover going into 1.
The 11 is right behind these two guys, so going to take advantage of this battle any way he can. That's the 11 of Joey Doucette. Hermes Castro is up to 7th.
Yeah, he just took it 3 wide around 2 cars, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. He's trying to get around Luke Bullard there for P6.
That's the 11 of Joey Doucette looking to get up under the 75, and he does.
Yep, a lot of moving parts right now in this race. A lot of guys trying to get their way back up to the front. And for one of the first times tonight, Alexander Schumacher out front here in the Tech4Troops Nashville 150.
So our new leader, Alexander Schumacher, here at lap 100 of 150.
Got a tight battle for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th right there. It's definitely starting to get a little bit congested. And there goes Hermas Castro to the bottom side of Luke Bullard trying to get a run.
Definitely a lot of aggression on the 25. He's definitely trying to charge his way back up to the front, working his way around these drivers.
And this is where those tires are definitely going to start to play a factor. Because where he's on 8-lap tires, they are on 16-lap tires. So we'll see how this all plays out as the race goes on. But right now, Hermas Castro up to P5 after pitting on that last caution. I think it's a fantastic move, Rick. I mean, I 100% support pitting under that last caution.
Absolutely. So you've got, just to recap, so Hermas Castro pitted on lap 89. Everybody else in front of him pitted on lap 82. So he's got 7 laps to the good on those tires. Definitely will play a factor. Just as a note, his last lap time was a 30.46. Your leader turned a 30.52. So definitely he's got a little bit of an edge as he works his way back up to the front.
Yep, he's trying to find his way around these two cars that keep on battling for position. That's Tyler Peebles and Zachary Allen.
And we've seen this before with Hermas Castro. He's just comes up out of nowhere and comes up and challenges for the front.
Yes, he does. I believe he's trying to make a run right here on the 24 machine. Or, my bad, the 24 machine is going to make a run 5 going to the turn 3. This is going to pose a awesome opportunity, maybe a 2-for-1 for Mr. Castro. We'll see what Mr. Castro does.
75 tagged that outside wall a little bit as he made his way through and out of turn 4.
Yep, and there goes the 25. Whoa, okay. A little bit of contact, and
great
that 25
run.
Yeah, that 25 is rolling really
he
well
is hooked
through.
Up.
Yeah, he is. So Hermas Castro up to P4. Looking to get P3 away from Mr. Zachary Allen. And they are about a second off from Schumacher and Doucette battling for the lead.
Wow.
Hermas has the run off the corner. Don't think he's going to be able to get it this time, but he's definitely got those tires. We'll see if he's used too much of it or see if he has some more left in them as the 24 slides up the track. Wow.
So interestingly enough, John, this is lap with 45 laps to go, 44 laps to go. We just entered into the fuel window. Now, granted, it is on the outside, and you want to leave enough in the tank if you do wind up with a green-white checker or two, but it's possible.
Yeah, it definitely is possible. And if you were to short pit this, I'd pit closer to lap 110, 115, because the reason why is because you're going to be a full 2 seconds faster than the leaders. If you go down, obviously you're going to lose a lot of time, but you're trying to basically maximize the delta after all the pit cycles and everything go through when they get those green or those tires back on their car. So that's the fine strategy play. But there's a big move from the 24 machine trying to go back around Hermas Castro as we're talking.
Well,
but,
I don't think that right now Hermas Castro's last lap was a 30.75. They barely qualified at a 29.8, 29.9. So really, you've only got less than 1 second advantage if you were to go in now, or even lap 110. That's a lot of time to try and make up, because your time on pit road, from the time you enter pit road, do a full service and get off, is 45 seconds.
Yeah, it's definitely a risk you play I don't think anybody's going to do it, but I could see where you could make the argument to do that. Definitely, you would just try to string this out for as long as you can to have the best and the fewest amount of laps at the end, so you could run as hard as you can at the end of the race, so you're not worried about, you know, conserving tires. Because at that point, all hands off deck. But right now, it looks like we have possibly a pass for the lead. Joey Doucette has gotten to the bottom side of Alexander Schumacher, rather. Going into P3, and don't look too far back, but 3/10 back, you have Mr. Zachary Allen and Hermaz Castro, so we may have a four-car battle for the lead.
Joey Doucette retakes the lead here at Nashville. Well, with 40 laps here to go, we are watching a pit strategy and tire strategy race here. We've had very few cautions to date. Don't want to jinx these guys, but we've had a great clean race tonight. And you've seen lots of battles for multiple positions around this track.
We have, and it's been a great race so far with all these guys, and could not give a bigger shout out to all those drivers. It's been fantastic. Right now, looks like the 25 machine is looking to make his way past Alexander Schumacher. We know Hermez is a very aggressive, competitive driver, so he's going to try everything to try to get around him. And here he is, he's going to do a little bit of a bump draft down the backstretch.
It looked close.
I guess that could work. I mean, you know, maybe give that driver a little bit of a boost. I don't know.
It was close.
He was definitely close for sure. Right now, those four cars, 1, 2, 3, 4 under a blanket, and then 5th, 6th, and 7th under a blanket.
That 5th is Tyler Peebles, Alonzo King, and Harley Barletta. See Harley move back up through the field?
Yeah, this is what he was talking about. You know, if it does stay green, he could have a good shot to make his way back up there, and it looks like he could. And looking to make his way up to P2 is Mr. Castro alongside Mr. Schumacher. So we'll see if he's able to complete this pass coming out of 3 and 4, slides up the track, goes down to the apron. Still side by side entering turn 1.
Again, he's got 7 laps of fresher tires on that 25 car.
Oh, wasn't able to get a good run off the corner. That's going to give the 68 a nice run up to the high side. Still think they're going to battle side by side, though. 25 just dives it deep in there trying to get that car to stick, and he does. Hermaz Castro up. Oh! 68 tagged the wall. Alexander Schumacher got into the outside wall there out of 4.
That's allowed the 24 of Zachary Allen to jump past him, and I'm sure Alonzo King has taken the bait back there and should be right there behind him.
Yep, that is not what you want to have happen late in this run, is to have that wall become your best friend. You do not like that at all. You don't want that at all. So we'll see how this affects his car. And there's Mr. Harley Barletta trying to get his way up through the field.
So we've got a couple guys, Ryan Pittman in the 08, Sean Schupin in the 37, who have taken the opportunity to dive down onto pit road.
So there we go. There's some early takers. We'll see what happens now with 33 to go in this event.
Joey Doucette continues to show us the way, but now he's got a new card nipping at his bumper. That is the 25 of Hermaz Castro.
Yeah, man, I wouldn't say it's a new car, because we've seen these two guys at the top of the leaderboard almost every week. You know, Hermaz has won a race this past a couple races ago, so he knows what victory lane's like. He wants that win. He wants to put his name up there with Mr. Doucette, who has 3 wins on the season. So we'll see if Mr. Castro can get it done as he drives it deep. Coming out of turn 4, he's going to have a major run. He may try to go alongside this 11 car.
Oh, the 11 blocked him. But look, he took the apron. Now he's nearly side by side, right rear quarter panel, and the pass.
He clears that 11 car like it was nobody's business.
Wow.
They're both in the wall. They were both driving it so hard there. That was awesome. That was awesome racing. And what you saw there was the 25 trying to say, hey, I'm gone. And the 11 was like, hey, I don't want you to leave my sight. And both of them got in the wall. So looks like they should be good. I mean, it was a quick little love tap. So it should be all nice and good to go to the end.
We've seen other cars caress that safer barrier tonight. So we're still in good shape here. We are at lap 120 of 150, 30 laps to go. I am expecting at some point rather soon we will see these guys on pit road.
Right, and really quick, Rick, there's some guys coming down pit road as we speak.
That's Zachary Allen, Tyler Peebles, Alexander Schumacher, and Mike Slagter.
Yep, but if you look really quick at this top four, 3 out of these 4 drivers came down pit road under that last caution. You have Hermes Castro out front, Alonzo King in 3rd, and Harley Barletta in 4th. They all came down pit road. And this is what we thought we were going to see later in this run. It's going to prove to be beneficial as the 25 and 11 are both going to come down pit road at the same time. 25 should get it slowed down enough. So, and then there comes Ty Bostic. Ty Bostic joins them on pit road. So, interesting call there. I mean, they could have gone another 10 laps if they wanted to, but I think they were trying to maximize their losses and their delta here in this race. So I think it's a good move to come down now.
I think so too. I think they've had enough of that rear view mirror and basically that front windshield full of the 80 car, the 81 car, and they decided it was time to go.
I mean, I think the strategy call here, I think it's great, especially for the 11 of Joey Doucette coming down when Hermes Castro came down pit road. I just really like that call. I think these are going to be the top 2 cars once we get back to under green conditions. I don't know if they're going to become the leaders, but I think they're going to be really close. As you see the 75 right there, that is your battle for the lead. There's the 25 or the 75 of Tyler Peebles just going around. Yes, we have Alonzo King out there. Yes, we have Andrew Surowick. Yes, we have all these guys, but these guys still have to make green flag stops. So your leader should be Tyler Peebles when they come back around, but we'll see.
Right now the board still has 80, the 80 car of Alonzo King on top. Robert Fake is in 2nd, William Mann Jr. in 3rd. I'm expecting that we will see that 80 car of Alonzo King come on, but he's got, what, a 10-second, 12-second lead?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has that lead, but, as time goes on, that lead is going to dwindle down. It's definitely time's not in his favor right now. He's basically hoping and praying that these guys drive it too hard earlier on, and he comes down pit road here probably in the next 6 to 8 laps and is able to run much harder to where the delta is in his favor at the very end of this race, because I just don't know how well this is going to work out over the long term. I mean, he definitely knows what he's doing. He's a great driver. Awesome to have him on board, but I think he may be just a little bit of a sitting duck right here.
Yep, he's running a 31.52 right now against a Luke Bullard, where Tyler Peebles are running a 30.25. I expect we'll see.
Go ahead, Rick.
I'm just expecting that we will see him soon on pit road.
Yeah, I mean, everybody else has come down pit road except for Mr. King. Now, what would be wild is, well, I guess if he did come down, or if there was a caution right here, he obviously, would have to come down pit road. He wouldn't be able to lap the entire field, but he would, and he is the only car on the lead lap right now. So we'll see when this number 80 machine comes back on pit road.
Well, there's no magic gasoline tank in the back of that number 80. He's going to run out of fuel at some point. He last pitted on lap 89.
So yeah, he should be coming in here within the next 5 laps, I would say, because with a couple laps under caution, we got green back about a lap 92. So I'm envisioning if he could run the full 43, he may come down here at lap 135, which will be roughly 8 laps from now. But don't look too far back, Rick. Those leaders are on his tail.
Well, Hermas Castro just ran a 30.
Oh, caution, Rick. We have a wreck. That is Tyler Peebles.
Oh, Tyler Peebles has crashed. Oh my gosh, this is going to completely change the game.
And everything changes, folks. Everything changes, always does. Whoa!
Oh, 68?
Okay.
No. Who?
That is the 68 of Alexander Schumacher. All right, let's see what happened here between the 68 machine of Alexander Schumacher and the 75 of Tyler Peebles.
Just contact is what I'm guessing. But 75 came down to try and maybe block him?
I didn't know I don't know if the 75 knew that the 68 was there. Because the 68, wasn't on the apron, which if he was on the apron, that still would be a clean move because you can go below the apron. I just don't know if the 75 knew that he was there. I mean, because it was a very light clip. I mean, he barely tapped him in the left rear. So nothing egregious there, I don't believe. That sends the 75 around, and that sends the 75 to the back of the pack.
And imagine that. Who is on pit road?
Mr. King, Mr. Alonzo King. So right now, this is going to play out in a very interesting fashion because technically, every car is going to have to get the wave around. So what that's going to mean is that as long as Mr. King comes out in front of the pace car, he should retain the lead. Correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, we'll see how this plays out here. And with that, we should have 15 cars, I believe, on the lead lap.
He's going to join at the tail end of the field that's past him, so we'll see how this plays out.
Yeah, we'll see how this plays out because we just got a wave around for the 3 car. He got the lucky dog. So the 3 car is actually going to be shown in P2. And the rest of the field, once we get 1 to green, is going to have to make their way back up to the field. And
I think there may be some confusion as to who's where.
I agree. But right now, you have some takers on pit road, Rick. I don't like that. You want to know why? Because if the leader passes them on pit road, Rick, they're not going to be able to get their spots back.
Yeah, definitely a lot of confusion right now.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, we've never had a situation like this, but with my knowledge of racing, what I would imagine is since the 80 came down pit road, he is at the back of the pack. Everybody in front of him technically is on the lead lap. If you come down pit road and he is now ahead of you after you came down pit road, you will still be a lap down, but everybody in front of him will be on the lead lap, which right now it shows 15 cars on the lead lap. So that is what I believe will happen.
We will see how this plays out. The lights are still on the pace car. We would typically break here. Why don't we just break here for a quick commercial? We'll be right back.
Sounds great.
When veterans get out of the military, a lot of them don't know how to translate their skill sets into the civilian world, and they lapse into poverty or into homelessness. But it can be easier with the right support. At Tech4Troops, our mission is to empower veterans in need with computers to get back in the workforce. We want to support our veterans across the nation.
All right, we are back with our second caution of the night. We are still trying to figure out just what's happening here. There are 18 laps to go here to wrap up the Tech4Troops Nashville 150.
And here goes everybody around pace car, Rick. Everybody should be getting their lap back. And what that's going to do is that's going to put Alonzo King and Luke Bullard P1 and P2. So, Mr. Bullard, can he get his first win of the season? Can Alonzo King get his first win of the season in, I believe, his first start here for the Tech4Troops Cup Series? We will see. But right now, you still have some cars that need to make their way around pit road, and I think race control should postpone the start of this race because those leaders are nowhere near where they need to be. And we're going to go green, Rick.
We are all spread out right now.
Yep, the field is completely spread out. We are technically still going green this time by. They did a single file restart. How wild is that? Field stacks up. We're green flag racing again here at Nashville.
Well, we're back under green here. 17 laps to go at the Tech4Troops Nashville 150. Thank you for joining us here on the IWM Broadcast Network. This should be a green flag run to the finish. A shootout between this field. We did see a single car restart here, which is not typical.
It's not typical, but I think it was definitely necessary because to get all those cars lined up in a particular lane, I think that would have just been absolute chaos. So, don't know if that was iRacing's doing or if that was something within the admins, but I think that was a good move to make it single file. But what that's going to do now is that is going to separate this field entirely, and that is going to put Alonzo King out front by a half a second over Luke Bullard. Alexander Schumacher is in third, Hermaz Castro in fourth, Zachary Allen in fifth, Joey Doucette in sixth, Harley Barletta in seventh, Ian Ogden in eighth, Mike Slafter in ninth, Andrew Surwick rounds out your top 10. Robert Fake is in 11th, Paul Valentine is in 12th, Ryan Pittman is in 13th, and your last car in the lead lap, Sean Shootman in P14. That is your current lead lap field here tonight with 15 to go. Luke Bullard's looking for his first win. Schumacher's looking for his first win. King's looking for his first win, but don't count out that 25. That 25 is aggressive, and he knows he wants to get another dub, so we'll see what happens.
24 of Zachary Allen is right there with Joey Doucette nipping at his heels. A lot of battles right now on the track as these drivers begin to work their way to try to get their way back up to the front to challenge the 80 of Alonzo King. Alonzo King is using up all the track to try and keep his position intact ahead of the number 3 of Luke Bullard.
And with 13 laps to go, we are sad to say, but Tyler Peebles has retired from the race. So that M&M's car is no longer in the race right now. I believe that could have been due to the incident, but right now, whoa,
a little bit of contact.
Corner. Yep, that number 3 is on rails. He is looking to go to the bottom side of the...
A tight battle between the 3 of Luke Bullard and the 80 of Alonzo King. You just saw Bullard using every part of this track to try and get his way back up to the bumper of the 80.
What he's doing is he's backing up the entry to get a better run off the corner, which is going to pay dividends on this front stretch. And here he goes, another run on the 80.
He is not shifting in the corners.
I at this point, I wouldn't either, but right now, look back at P2. You have a battle between the 25 and the 68. Oh, 25 gets in the left rear. The 68 moves him up the track. So, don't know if we can go back and take a look at that one, but a little bit of contact between those two drivers, but they continue on.
Yep, right there.
That moves the 25 up into third, and that moves the 68 back into fifth. But right now, it's all Alonzo King out there with under 10 to go.
So you're Luke Bullard. You're sitting back there. You're trying to make the run. You're holding on. 9 laps to go. What do you think? What's your strategy?
I would say bring the pressure. Make Alonzo drive his car harder than he has to. The constant pressure is going to slowly creep up on the 80, and he's going to slowly start looking back in his rearview mirror, and you're just hoping he makes a mistake. And, you're not pushing your car too hard to where you're going to ruin it at the end of this run, but you're pushing it just enough to where it gets that 80 uncomfortable. So that's what you would do.
They've got nearly a 2.5 second lead over third and fourth. This battle has turned into a sprint for these two drivers, and they have separated themselves with the third, fourth, fifth pack.
Yes, it has. Yes, they have. And right now, Luke is sitting in a great position. As long as he doesn't make a mistake, he can possibly get around this 80 car if he puts the pressure on. It's a technique that a lot of drivers will use, is just that added pressure will cause that front car to just have a little bit more of room for error. So it's definitely going to play into his favor as long as he can stay up to the back bumper. But Rick, we are now to 6 to go. It's a race between Mr. King and Mr. Bullard now for the number 1 position for the win here in the Tech4Troops Nashville 150. Don't miss a beat. We have coming to 5 to go. You don't want to tune away, especially if you're in support of either of these two drivers.
Let's jump back to the battle between third, fourth, and fifth here. You've got Joey Doucette and Hermas Castro battling it out for third, followed by the 24 of Zachary Allen. They are just chasing this position. We'll watch this battle for a bit. If we see something change at the front, we'll pop back up.
This battle is definitely one of the tightest battles on the track. That 11 wants that podium spot, and he will take that third place spot away from Mr. Castro, who is now under a a little bit of a tag into the wall there.
Hermas Castro is using that apron move he's used all night to gain position.
And something happened with Alexander Schumacher, I believe. He's all the way dropped back to P8. And here comes the 24 to the bottom side of the 25. Not much room there. 25 gives them to the room. They're going to battle side by side off the corner. 3 to go. Rick,
let's go back to the front. That 24 has made his way around the 25 of Hermas Castro.
Yep, and we have about 3.5 laps to go here. 2.5 laps to go here at Nashville. And Luke Bullard looking to get his first win here in the Cup Series. He is now 0.3 of a second back.
Yep, if he can get around the 80 of Alonzo King. They've got a over 5.5 second lead over P3.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be far enough ahead where it's not going to matter, but that delta has basically leveled out there at about 0.3 of a second. We'll see what they're able to do now, going to 1 to go. White flag in the air in the Tech4Troops Nashville 150.
Final lap. I think Luke Bullard has basically said, I'm just going to get around safely here. He's got a nearly 0.5 second delta between himself and King. King continues to show the way.
Yep, that delta is closing. I don't think it's going to happen, though. Luke tries to drive it in hard. Gets it down to about 0.3, gets up to the wall, not enough. Alonzo King is your winner in the Tech4Troops Nashville 150, followed by Luke Bullard. And in P3 is going to be Joey Doucette.
And let's not miss the fact that Harley Barletta is up to 5th.
Yeah, I mean, the strategy worked. The strategy worked for him, got a good top 5, and that's great momentum going into the next few races.
80 has stopped on the front stretch.
Whoa.
Hopefully he gets through safely. There's a lot of cars coming up behind him.
Well, Rick, this is one of the quickest races we've had here in the Tech4Troops Cup Series. I gotta say, we're over pretty early.
We are, and I'm just trying to look and see. Hopefully we'll get our winner, Mr. King, into our weight room. I don't currently see him. Oh, I do. So great. So right now we're waiting on Mr. Doucette to join us. We'll see. We'll bring up the results.
And don't miss a beat, because we are going to talk with your first, second, and third place finisher here tonight. And here's our final results. In the first position, your winner here tonight, Alonzo King Jr. in the number 80 out of Dark Tempest Motorsports. And in P2, Luke Bullard there, a great run from him. It's what he needed. Joey Doucette gets another top 3. We'll be talking to him. I think we've talked to him almost every race, Rick, but it's awesome to see him running so well. In P4, Zachary Allen. In 5th, Harley Barletta. 6th is Hermes Castro. 7th is Ian Ogden. 8th is Andrew Surwick. 9 is Alexander Schumacher. And rounding out your top 10 is Paul Valentine.
In 11th, Mike Slagter. 12th, Robert Fake. 13th, Ryan Pittman. 14th, Sean Shootman. 15th, Freddie Durstock Jr. 16th, Bobby Gibson. 17th, Ray Radford. 18th, Pete Woodrum. 19th, Evan Amick. 20th, Mark Feeney. 21st, Ty Bostic. 22nd, Marco Barubi. 23rd, David Watts. 24th, Tyler Peebles. 25th, William Mann Jr. 26th is Eric Olva. 27th, Bradley Previtt. 28th, David P. Sharon. And that wraps up the field for tonight's race.
Yes, it does. So let's see if we can get Mr. Doucette in here.
We can do
as
that.
Our P3 finisher.
Joey, welcome to the broadcast booth. Congratulations on a heck of a race.
I appreciate it, fellas.
You were running up front the entire race here, so give us a rundown. You know, we had one of the longest green flag runs that we've had all season long. What was your thought going through the race?
I figured it was going to go green. I mean, it's a big enough track where we can all spread out. Leading into the race, I felt confident that I could pull out another win. But no, what kind of is disappointing is cutting the 30 laps short. You know, we knew it was coming in, but I mean, we still got an hour left, and it was a big enough track that we were all going to be separated. I felt like, but the powers to be decided, and we follow those rules. But wish it was something different.
Yeah, we'll hear more from broadcast race control regarding that single that line restart. But sometimes things happen. There certainly was a lot of jumbling with Alonzo King being off cycle. But you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, even if we did a double file restart, I mean, them two, Luke and Alonzo had the fresher tires. It wasn't going to make a difference. I don't think. Because they just pulled away. I mean, we're on, like, I think 30 to 29 lap old tires at the end of the race, and they're on like 15. You know.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was good strategy on their part. Great win by Alonzo. I'm not taking nothing away from him. He was out up there all night. Luke, same thing. You know, hey, race strategy, right call. Them how races are won and races are lost. I mean, just didn't fall our way tonight.
Right, and you know a lot about winning there, Joey. You've done an amazing job this season. You know, another podium finish. So you're making yourself the clear top dog to beat this season. So kudos out to you. And next week we go to a fun track, Indianapolis, which these cars don't go to anymore in the traditional sense. So that'll be definitely a new challenge to everybody. But congratulations on your P3 finish tonight. Anybody you want to give thanks or a shout out to?
1111 Veterans Project, Racing for Heroes, Tech4Troops. My teammates, Chris couldn't be here tonight. John couldn't be here tonight. Ian, Harley, sorry, Schumacher. He was in the Discord, and Man was in the Discord tonight. So all those guys, kudos to them. Kudos to the league. I mean, thank you for Elliot, and thank you to you guys. So.
We appreciate you. Okay, that is your third place finisher. That is Joey Doucette. Let's try to bring Luke Bullard into the broadcast booth. Luke, welcome to the broadcast booth. Congratulations on your P2 finish.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Take us through that final few laps you had as you battled Alonzo King.
Yeah, it was kind of tough. I didn't know whether we needed to push it real hard from the restart, if I was going to have enough tires to make it running that hard, or if we just needed to kind of take it easy and wait to the last few laps, save a little something. But kind of midway through that last run, I just decided I'd try and fill his rearview mirror up. Maybe he'd make a mistake, but he didn't.
Wow, that sounds like exactly what I said, Rick. I mean, word for word. So, Luke, we have the same mentality there. But I mean, great run for you tonight. This definitely poses a good momentum swing in your direction going into a track that these cars don't go to in the traditional sense. So I want to ask you about that. Next week, we are going to Indianapolis, the traditional Indianapolis. So what are your thoughts on that track?
Not really one of my best tracks. We just want to go and give it our best shot, but hopefully we can stay at least around the top 10 and get out of there.
All right. Any shout outs or thanks you'd like to put out there?
Yeah, we'll give a shout out to the Facebook fan club tonight.
Yeah, you had a lot of people supporting you tonight, which is awesome to see.
All right. Well, that's your P2 finish. Oh, you're very welcome. And we'll hope to see you next week.
Yep. See you then.
All right. That was your P2 finisher, Luke Bullard, getting a great finish tonight. And let's bring in our winner. Alonzo King, welcome to the broadcast booth. This is Rick and John, and congratulations on your finish.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys.
You ran an awesome race. You were up there a lot of the time, and so walk us through that last caution when caution came out. You were the only car on the lead lap, and it was a single file restart. Kind of run us through what was going on in your mind around that point of the race.
Well, that second stint when we ran, I was actually shutting the car off, entering the corners, and conserving fuel. And I was still quick. So I was like, I had about 4 more laps of fuel than everybody else. Then we had that quick caution. So I pitted and just topped off. Then when we got that, we got out there and everybody started pitting. And I noticed I was like, I'm still 10 laps away from pitting. So I was like, I'm going to draw it out as far as I can. And as soon as like the second place car pitted the next lap, that caution through, and I was like, oh, they're in so much trouble, because they were like 6 or 7 laps into their tires. And I was like, if they all pit, they ain't going to get that wave around. Then when I came out of the pits, I noticed, the lap down car got his lap back, but I was like, oh, it's on. I was like, as long as I can just maintain him. And I noticed, like, in the beginning of the runs, he was pushed way too hard and hit that outside wall in 4. So I know if I could just keep ahead of him, keep it about 2/10, I had him.
Well, we were, this is your first time here with the Tech4Troops Cup Series, and you certainly made a statement. That's for sure.
I tell you what, it was some great racing. Good side by side. These guys were giving each other room and stuff. I like it. I'll definitely be back.
Well, absolutely. We'd love to have you. Love to have you back out next week. And next week we're going to Indianapolis, the traditional Indianapolis, not the road course, from what I have told. So
even better.
Yeah, that'll be fun in these cars. So can't wait to have you back out. But congratulations on your win again here in the Tech4Troops Nashville 150. Anybody you want to give us thanks or shout out to tonight?
I want to give a shout out to MVP, My Veterans Passion. It's a nonprofit organization for veterans' mental health through gaming. You can check them out at myveteranpassion.org. Give a shout out to 13 Folds. It's another group I'm with that deals with a lot of veterans. And Dark Tempest Motorsports, pretty much got a team that's pretty much all veterans. So Come out, support, have fun.
Well, you're definitely with the right group. This is a veteran-centric organization, and we're proud to have you and proud of your service. So thank you very much.
I appreciate y'all's broadcast and appreciate Elliot for putting this on. It's awesome.
Got it. All right.
So.
That's your winner, Alonzo King Jr. And well, that was a heck of a race, John.
No, that was some good stuff. I was definitely expecting something like this tonight. You know, it's just bound to happen. Those races where we have the long, long races with a lot of cautions, and we have the race that's really, really strong with very little cautions, and that's what we got tonight. So shout out to everybody there, and shout out to the entire field tonight. But really quick, Rick, I think we have Elliot in the booth with us tonight. I believe we do. Mr. Elliot, do you got yours on?
Yeah, snuck in while you guys were looking the other way. I don't think we could ask for anything better than what we saw tonight. 2 cautions, a huge contrast from last week. Congratulations to Alonzo on his win, and wanted to let everybody know that the 11-11 Vets Cleanest Driver Award goes to Luke, our second place finisher, and the IWM Hard Charger Award goes to Harley Barletta. So. Congratulations to those 2 guys too. And you guys already mentioned next week we're going to Indy, so I guess we're going to run the Brickyard, and hopefully we have just as good a race as we had tonight.
Yeah, it was fabulous racing. As you heard Alonzo note, we saw some great side-by-side battles tonight. Good, clean racing, and lots of great respect. Especially on a track like this, where we do see some cars get a lap down. Drivers were respectful and were cognizant of where those leaders were in the race. So,
absolutely. Well, Rick, this was a great race tonight, and it definitely showed the kind of skill that these drivers have. And I can't wait to see what happens next week. And if you're watching along, we would love for you all to tune in next week, as we are going to be live from Indianapolis, same time, same broadcast network, the IWM Broadcast Network. So everybody here in the IWM Broadcast Network and in the Tech4Troops Cup Series, Rick, you got Elliot there, got Michael, got Matt, got everybody else that's involved in the series in some way and capacity. We want to thank you for tuning in this week, and make sure to tune in next week, and hope you all have a wonderful Wednesday.
All right. Good night, folks.